And lap times that we've seen around the weekend, Bobby, around the 3 minute mark?
Yeah, some got into couple got into the 2:59, the two front cars, but because we're now running 11-to-1 compression, we were on avgas, we were 14-to-1 compression, and this unleaded fuel that will not ever get to the 56s.
So getting set for a start here, Bobby. I think you've got the rundown there of the top 10 here for race 3 this weekend of the Holden HQs.
Yeah, well, I hope you've got the screen in front of you, but I think it's Raji's, Osmond, Kenny Wright, McLeod, Truan, John Baxter, Brandon One-Lamb, Christopher Molly, Darren Jenkins, and Michael Howlett from Western Australia, one of the 10 cars that come from WA. There in 10th place. A great effort by this young Western Australian driver.
We're just finalising the grid here at the back now as it bends around Murray's Corner, and just the officials running back here now to make sure that they get behind the wall. This is going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be on. It's between Ratchis and Osborne. This is going to be a big, big race. Bobby, you might want to whack out that wallet because they might behave themselves, they might not.
Mate, if I was official, I'd be getting off behind the fence too of these 55 HQs. Warren Wadley unfortunately missed out. He was the next reserve, but has not made the grid.
Hopefully a clean start on this race too. Yesterday, car 17 just stalling slightly. So
don't mention it. Don't mention it. Now I want you to hold your breath for the next. When the green light comes on, hold it for 30 seconds. We're not far away from a start. Must be. They're all lined up as far as we can see.
Of course, the start line here at Mount Panorama is 200 metres from turn 1. 5 seconds to go now.
Green light showing the powers on. The way goes the bunny racing. No, not yet. Not far now.
Red light's on.
Raji's on the inside with the day glow signage. Osmond on the outside. We're looking at the screen now to make sure they all get through turn 1. No stallers on the line. Last car around the corner, which will be Mark Baxter in car 80. Got a start. His first race for the weekend, being a reserve.
It looks as though we've got a clean start through turn 1 here as they head up to Mountain Straight towards Griffin's Bend for the first time. One of them just coming out there. I can't actually see the number of it cleanly, though, almost into the wall, but joining the race back up there. What a huge field. It's like the Bathurst 1000 of all days.
What do you mean clean? Was that clean dust and stones you're throwing at everyone?
It was almost like Daytona at the Daytona 500 as they went up Mountain Straight on that first lap as they'll file through Griffin's Bend. Still, for some, towards the rear, it'll be double file formation.
Raji's got the lead, though. He's won both races so far. Pick his car with the Dayglow green signage across the front car, 33. Osmond in second place, pushing him. Can the others keep up? They haven't the last 2 races yesterday, so let's see if there's any improvers. Unfortunately, Gary Bonwick, the guy that was fancied to be on the podium this weekend, is not there because the car would not play the game. Don't they look good, though? This is a lot close racing, mate.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we talk about, isn't it, a lot? So, bit of contact there towards the ridge. You're lucky to get away with that one. I think, for memory serves me correctly, there was actually a rollover that particular point, I think back in 2014, 2013, playing support to the Bathurst 12 hour, but so far so good. Hopefully that's not a commentator's curse as they come through one of the great parts of Mount Panorama through the great section and now back down the hill. It's very close between your top 2, Bobby, but like we've seen this weekend, both Rajis and Osborne actually pulling away from the rest of the field.
And how good is Baxter going at the moment in 3rd position? He's up there as well, which is looking sensational. John Baxter in the blue and orange entry, and he's been a little bit down the field in the past couple of races, but this one he is right on the back of him.
Yeah, there's been a few surprises this weekend. Guys not going as good as they should go, and other guys are going better than we expected them to go. But it's a category that inexpensive to get into. You've just got to do laps and laps and laps, and you come to grips with these HQ racing taxis, someone used to call them.
And one thing you spoke about there was, finding a second-hand car. What sort of price range are we looking at, Bobby?
Well, you can get a starter's car for $5,000.
Yeah.
Well, that's a starter's car. You'll learn to drive, and then you'll get a better car or a better engine. There was a big move by Osmond then, but it didn't come off. He was in the wrong place. He would have been on the outside into the left, but Raji's knew where he had to be, and he felt comfortable that Osmond was not going to get past. So not far now under the bridge. We'll see him once again as they come past. We're watching him on the screen at the moment. But Osmond's taking it up to him. I was talking to Raji's earlier. He said, mate, he's on me. That was his words, he's on me. And not a bad move there. And Baxter back in 3rd place. looking for Kenny Wright, who finished third yesterday in car 13, having his last drive. That is the blue and orange car, the blue roof orange. Number 13 on the side, car is for sale.
Kenny's actually just dropped back from third to sixth then on that opening lap as well. So at the moment, Raji's, Osborne, Baxter, McLeod and Truan so far your top five. There's one car there going very wide at Hell Corner in turn number 1, car number 7.
Michael Howlett tapping his
West Australian.
Right side rear into the wall there, but coming back on. In fact, that's the same car that went off at the start.
And that's exactly right. Now, of course, you mentioned Western Australian. Great to have so many West Aussies here this weekend, Bobby. We had up to 10 at the start of the weekend make the trek, which is great to see. So it was fantastic, wasn't it? A lot of them doing the big trek over. He's got a replay down here, Bobby, at turn number 1.
Yeah, he's just overcooked it, really.
All on his own.
He's missed the turn completely, but what a great job.
He got the wall as well with the right rear panel of that car. So I was going to say he was awfully close to getting the wall, but actually then got it at the end as well. But fingers crossed there's not too much damage. You can continue on then in this race as they continue to fight for positions going out of the cutting section. It's fantastic to watch, isn't it? Just a whole line of HQ Holdens fighting out at Mount Panorama as they continue to roll on through. And so far, Bobby, fingers crossed, it's been not too bad and quite clean.
Bobby, we were talking before about these being the taxis back in the day here. Well, greetings from the UK, Spanner Man. We asked about London taxi racing. How about taxi banger racing? So they've got the London Taxi Cab Championships that they do actually have over there. So thank you very much, Spanner Man. We will actually watch that when we've got some downtime.
Yeah, congratulations. Like these series are really competitive. This series has been around for 28 years or something now. This series was actually started in Tasmania, of all places, the smallest state in Australia. And look at it now, we're still getting a full capacity grid here at Mount Panorama of 55 cars.
Now a lap ago we saw Osborne try and have a little move at the kink of the chase. Let's wait if you can see and do that this time by. They'll head down to the fastest corner in Australian motorsport, the king of the chase. If you're in a V8 supercar, you clock about 300 kilometres an hour. In a HQ Holden, Bobby, what's they normally topping out at?
All depends who you're talking to. The more you've had to drink, the faster you go. But I think I nearly got to 300 once, but then I fell out of bed dreaming.
Yeah, that's right. So not this time by for Osborne. He's just going to sit there in behind Raji's. Raji's very deep under brakes. You can see him almost pulling a bit of a margin, just clips the apex, and you can see that Osborne in behind got a little bit more of the curb on the left-hand side. That's quite a large curb, and you'll see a lot of cars throughout the course of the day, if you're watching the live stream, banging that curb on the left-hand side. And then they've got this short shoot underneath the Hatashi Bridge into Murray's Corner to complete lap 2 of 6 here at Mount Panorama.
Yeah, Raji had a late turn in on that turn, and that's the way to get through that corner. But in 1999, for you folks overseas are listening, 3 grids of these HQ Holdens here for the national title. We had Division 1, 2 and 3.
Oh, look at Osborne through turn 1. Sorry to butt in on you then, Bobby, who was very wide, going out overneath the ripple strip there on the right-hand side. Few cars doing that as well. And unfortunately, here we got Barker stopped at the top of Mount Panorama, it looks to be, at the great section in car number 6. So he's lingering on down the field this weekend. Matthew Barker in that particular car. And here comes Osborne once again. In fact, he might even be close enough to get the move this time by into Griffin's Bend. They're going to go side by side. It's going to be Raji's on the outside, Osborne on the inside. We're going to have a change for lead.
He's done it.
So well done to Brett Osborne. Got a great run out of Hell Corner. Got the run up then Mountain Straight. Got the job done. But look at Raji's.
Not finished. Oh, he's got away by Carl.
Oh, isn't it tight? Shades of Greg Murphy and Marcus Ambrose going side by side there into the cutting. But it looks to me like Osborne now has got that spot, and also the fastest lap of the race on that previous lap as well, doing a 2:58.5.
Car number 40's just rolled into the pits as well with some damage on the rear of that, guys. So that's just rolled past us in our position here at Mount Panorama in the pits. Some heavy damage, in fact, to the rear of that car.
Paul Island, Victorian driver. A lot of these guys are having their first race here at Mount Panorama, and I can remember when I had my first race here, they couldn't get the smile off my face, and it's the same with everyone else. The minute they step out, big smile. Car
number 91 also has damage on its front bumper, so that's all crumpled in. So obviously those two have come together at some point on the circuit.
Eric Hill for this weekend, so a bit of damage on the front of that machine. Bobby, just before I butted in on you before there, you were talking about the story of having 3 different grids. Now, it was just over, I think it was 160 cars for that national title here at Mount Panorama.
Originally we had 180 entries, and then there was dropouts, but I think we started with 163 in the finish, so 3 grids.
Car 8 also rolling into the pits as well, with a little bit of smoke coming from the left rear.
Glenn Cameron, so that family hasn't had a good weekend this weekend. Car 11's his brother.
Let's see what Raji's can do here at the moment. He's going to be in the slipstream by the time they get down to the chase. Is he going to be close enough, Bobby? He's certainly closing in by the time they reach the top end of the speed limit, but they come back down once again. Osborne will probably try and make this car as wide as he possibly can towards the latter half of this race. We're only at half race distance though at the moment.
Yeah, still a long way to go. And of course, these are not race tyres. They're not slicks. They're just road tyres, Kenda road tyres. You use them in the wet, you use them in the dry, you use them in the snow, you use them in whatever. No change. The only thing you do is change the pressure.
And this place was covered in snow in July of last year. It looked beautiful in its glorious white. And one July morning, of course, last year it was beautiful.
What a great battle this is going on at the moment between John Baxter and Andrew McLeod here for the battle for third at the moment. So these, obviously, Osborne and Rajis have stretched away there, but this is an interesting battle between Baxter and McLeod here as they come through again. So we'll intensely watch that as they come through.
Yeah, there'll be little personal battles going right through the field because HQ racing, they're pretty even. The cars at the front are the ones that have been highly prepared. They got nothing illegal about them, but the guys have got, here's a move, is it going to come off? Is it going to come off? I think he's side by side now. Yes. Raji's back in front, car 33.
Isn't this great? Of course, a bit of deja vu from what we saw a lap ago. Of course, though, it's changed reversal because it was Osborne that did a lap ago, but now Raji's down the inside. And was that an alarm that I saw come up then as well? The left-hand side arm going up. I reckon they were just sort of congratulating each other on a tremendous race. We've got a replay up here at the moment, top of Mount Panorama, and that would explain a lot of things here, and that is a big smoke screen. Unfortunately, Cameron there in number 8 getting turned around, and at that particular point of the circuit, 2 and even 3 wide isn't sometimes the best way to go.
Yeah, you got help there.
Certainly did.
I was just about to say that the fastest time so far in this race has been Osborne with a 2:58.5. Raji's 2:58.53, so the hair I just took off my eyebrow at the distance.
That is probably the best way of describing it, Benny.
Let's also thank Daniel Clift at the moment, who sent us in a tweet as well on the hashtag B6HR. Thank you for joining the conversation, Bobby. He wants to know the specs of the HQ engines, but we'll do that at the conclusion of this race.
The 202s.
Of course, you can join the conversation this weekend, B6HR. For race day Sunday at Mount Panorama, and that'll certainly be getting a lot of hits once we move into the high-tech Halls Bathurst 6 hour. But a lot of people not only here at the circuit but around the world as well enjoying the Holden HQ action that we've got here this morning at Mount Panorama as they continue to file through and down Conrod Straight.
I just caught out of the corner of my eye Andrew McLeod having a little bit of a waggle there, which has actually allowed John Baxter to close up that gap. That gap, which was 2 cars, has now become 4, Brian.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you've got McLeod, Baxter, Kenneth Wright and Warren Trevor in there, all in the fight for position at number 3. McLeod actually 2 laps ago got that spot back off Baxter, and now you can see some side-by-side action, although that's not going to happen because there is now a yellow flag out there and actually a safety car as well.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking that John Baxter just had his arm out the window there at the moment. I'm not sure whether he was waving to indicate that he had an issue or it was a bit of a salute.
Probably maybe just warning the other drivers that he's slowing down. The safety car has now been issued onto the circuit
I think it's more of a warning to the guys behind.
So, unfortunately here, a safety car has come out with just a handful of laps to go. It's going to be 2 more once they cross the control line there on the High-Tech Halls pit straight.
Well, now they've slowed down. The gentleman wanting the specifications of the engine, they are all 202. They must be of a certain stamp on the side. There were some different 202 blocks come out. You must run the standard head. You can't port and polish, but you can do work to the valves with a limitation.
As we see a replay here before coming up, this is probably what's brought the safety car out. Oh, and a heavy hit there too on the wall at the spot where Dick Johnson
Can you get a number?
ended up. That's hit heavily on both sides there in the wall and also with the other cars. I'm just having a quick look. That's car 9. So that's car 9 there at the moment.
Car 9 is
Raymond Jardine for this weekend.
From Victoria.
Yep, so the flatbed truck being needed for that, and they're under the control now of the Toyota 86 safety car for this weekend.
And I've got to say that this will probably be the end of this race. It'll probably end up finishing under safety car with that car where it is positioned.
The other, getting on with the specification of the engine, you must run the standard inlet manifold, and they are numbered. There has to be a certain number that comes out from cams. You can use extractors. You must use the original Strongberg downdraft carburettor with limited modifications. You can put an adjustable main jet. Standard conrods, the standard crankshaft, all can be balanced. You must run the flywheel, you can balance it. Limited modifications, but it's the way you put it together and the way you tune it.
We've also got another car here stopping just on the start-finish line as well, or just past it where the lights are, where they grid up for the first row of the podium, so it's stopping as well. Look at the way that car there has... There's obviously some suspension damage to that, Bobby.
Yeah, it's hard to see from here. I'm a little bit far away. You're closer to the screen, so the tilt tray arrives.
As that camera pans back, though, I tell you what, though, it hit that wall hard, so it's going to leave a big mark on that wall. But, yeah, safety car, good idea, and...
you don't need more accidents to happen to a car that's already had one. There's no high-top pistons allowed. You must have you run flat-top pistons. The 3-speed gearbox that the vehicle come out with, and the same with the diff, and they all run a 3.55 to 1 ratio at every track. You can't change diff ratios. You can run the brake pads on the front is open, and you can run any linings you want in the back, but long as it is on the standard shoes. So you've got the drum brake rear end, you must run standard axles, etc, etc. And then of course the car has the approved roll cage, full belts, window net. You can put whatever steering wheel you like, provided it's approved by cams. That's about it.
So you've expanded from the engine to every spec on the car.
Well, it's not,
I hope that answers Daniel's question, though.
Well, it's all virtually as the car comes from the factory, except for the engine.
Hashtag B6HR is the hashtag that you need to jump on top of, which is the Twitter, of course, hashtag.
Sorry, Benny, I'm actually, as you mentioned that, I was actually having a laugh at some of the tweets that are coming through. Andy Ayres says, using the hashtag B6HR, the reason you don't see any HQ Holdens on the road now is because they're all racing.
Now, can I just mention something? Bobby Wright, the father of Kenny that's out there driving car 13, I'm not sure what year it was, 96 or 97. Steve Empson, a New Zealand driver, myself, drove in the 3-hour at Sandown in the pouring rain. Steve went out, and the first time he turned the wipers on, they'd never been turned on before in Queensland, the arm just fell off the side. This is gospel. You can go and get Bobby Wright, he'll verify it. He said, don't worry, he said, I'll run into the pits, he'll run into the car park, and he'd come back, and he'd left a note on the windscreen, we've borrowed your windscreen wiper arm, we'll bring it back after the race.
The one time you needed it, and it wasn't there.
Living in the Fast Lane has also tweeted in as well using the hashtag B6HR from Norway, saying that they are awesome sounding cars, and they are. One day you need to come over and hear them in real life.
And Sean Pivick from Seattle as well. A very good Australian morning to you, as we've got another replay of the incident that happened up here at Mount Panorama. Benny?
So just going in where he shouldn't have.
He sort of turned left, but I don't think he knew he was there. He would have been out of his vision.
Absolutely. And the other car as well, lucky to escape because it was actually up against the wall.
Here's the black car. You're closer, mate.
We've had confirmation as well, gentlemen, that this race will finish behind the safety car as well. So unfortunately, we will not get green flag conditions back underway with this race.
Well, that's a shame because I can assure you this is my last visit to Mount Panorama. It's 21 years here with the Kiwis as a driver, an owner, a promoter, commentator. But sometimes you've got to say enough's enough. I was disappointed that I didn't qualify for a cap or a shirt or anything as a volunteer. Only cost me $20,000 to be here. I had to go and buy another vehicle to get here. But anyhow, that's life. But it's been an absolute buzz to come to Mount Panorama, and of course, in days gone by when I used to come down and do the commentary for the V8s and that with 2BS, with Phil Cole, Brian Nightingale and Terry, it's always been a buzz, but it's a shame that the last HQ race I'm going to watch here is finishing under these circumstances. But what I want to say to everyone, thanks.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. No,
It's been a pleasure commentating with you over these last 5 or so years that I've been up here doing this Easter meeting. So,
yeah, well, I met some great people here. Jimmy Hallahan at Ford. Thanks.
No, thank you, Bobby, and of course all the great work that Bobby continues to do up here at Mount Panorama, and I think he holds a special place at Mount Panorama, does Bobby, and thank you so much for the tireless effort. You've got a lot of friends in this paddock, and a lot of people that are thankful for the effort that you've put into Mount Panorama and also Australian motorsport. So